You're tuned in to the Behind the Ears podcast with Uncle Danny and Mr. Chris, because everybody does Disney differently. The Behind the Ears podcast crew would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support. Hey everybody, it's Mr. Chris, and I got to tell you about Expedition Roasters. Listen, I'm a pretty big coffee drinker, just like a lot of you are, but these people have got coffee right. Their coffees are made from selectively sourced premium and specialty grade Arabica beans. They provide the absolute best flavor and aroma, and select roasts even come directly from a single estate farm for a truly perfect cup that is never bitter. They've got awesome Disney-inspired flavors such as Roundhouse Roast, Route 66, Skipper's Brew, Dark Side Roast, Redhead Rum, and one of my favorites, Bobsledder's Brew. Listen, if you want to have the taste of Disney in every cup, give them a try today. ExpeditionRoasters.com, and Behind the Ears podcast listeners gets an extra 20% off your first order by using the coupon code EARS20. That's right, EARS20. And you can find them over at ExpeditionRoasters.com. Brew your happy place. If you have a little one and you're going to Walt Disney World, you're going to need a stroller. I'll tell you what, KingdomStrollers.com is the place where you want to look into. I'll tell you, I've destroyed my fair share of strollers while at Walt Disney World, and those things are not cheap. But getting something from KingdomStrollers.com, they'll be able to help you pick out the perfect stroller for you. And the nice part is that because they're a Disney preferred provider, they'll be able to drop it off and pick it up right from your Disney resort at no extra charge. So if you don't want to necessarily destroy your stroller in the process and you want to have a great Disney vacation with your little one, contact KingdomStrollers.com and they'll set you right up. That's KingdomStrollers.com.
Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. I am Uncle Danny, the man that looks a tad creepy. For our viewers who can see it, for the listeners, just same old Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, sir, how are you?
I am doing just ducky. And yeah, I went back to work this week. That was difficult.
That was fun, huh?
Well, actually, I will tell you this. I went back to work this week. And I actually felt good about going back to work. I actually felt like, you know what? I'm ready to go back to work. I know it sounds really weird. I said to myself, I said, I am ready to go back to work. And I have to give a shout out to Chris for noticing that I did that just for him. For those that can see that in the picture, yes, I finally put up my new smoke detector. Now, will people please get off my case for not having my smoke
you did!
I guess I hooked it up. So I know people who are watching, or I should say listening via the podcast, are like, what? Trust me, it's been a long going inside joke. In fact, when I ran into Chris at Toy Story during the soft opening, he's like, dude, when are you going to get that smoke detector fixed? I said, I'm doing it when I get home. And so, yeah, it's fixed. I have only 7 more to go.
They were all down?
No, they're not. It's just you're supposed to replace them after a certain period of time. So I have another project I have to take care of, but that's okay. That's for the weekend. Right now, we're gonna have some more fun. That's what I think. We're gonna have more fun. I wanted to just kind of finish some of the stories that I started last week with the my trip report, and I actually kind of was hoping that some of our I'm hoping that some of our viewers tonight will actually feel free to, you're more than welcome to ask me any question about my trip, what I did or what have you. But I wanted to start off with food because quite honestly, we didn't talk enough about food last time.
That's all I heard.
Food. What?
All I heard was food. Got food, super excited.
So let me ask you this. Did you ever go to Teppan Edo over in gosh, that was so.
We went there for Jessica's birthday, I believe, in Epcot, right? Upstairs. Yep. We were there for Jessica's birthday.
That was an amazing experience. And
we talked about that. Did you have the box? Please tell me you had the bento box. I think I'm saying that wrong.
The Teppan dining where they cook it right in front of you.
Oh, you did the hibachi in the back. Well, in the front. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, we went sit down in the back. Okay, makes more sense.
I do like myself a good Japanese bento box though.
It is bento. Okay, I was saying it right. It was so good.
Yes, it is very, very. I don't know if I mentioned, but I actually tried sake for the first time. And the interesting part to it is that I tried like the sake flight. I had a little sample of 3 of them, and so the idea was I was going to go ahead and share it with Virginia and Casey. Yes, they are of age, and so I took some sips, some samples. I'm like, ooh, that's good. And second one's like, ooh, that's even better. Third one was like, oh, where could I get a bottle of this? And I am not a drinker by any stretch of the imagination. I've never had sake, and the last time I was even exposed to it, someone said, "Here, smell this and see if you want to take a sip."
Well, sake is good, man.
It smelled like the last time I was around, like rub alcohol. But this one was not. And there was like an unfiltered sake.
It feels like rubbing alcohol and going down too. This was smooth. Some of them are smooth.
Oh, this was, just like, how like if you drink a cheap tequila, it kind of just burns the heck all the way down. Mm-hmm. This doesn't. It's like a good tequila. Except
good tequila.
Except it's made from rice.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely fabulous. And then of course, we had samplings of sushi where my daughter got a dragon roll. I got a spicy salmon roll. And Casey got some sort of salmon. And it looked so good. I got to tell you something. Even my son liked that place, man. My son's a little on the picky side. And he really enjoyed that place. I will tell you this, though.
I'm shocked he liked that, honestly.
That he liked it?
Yeah.
He actually, well, here's the thing. He got the
dining.
What?
Unique dining in there. You have to like that style food.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think he liked it because it was nothing super duper fancy. I mean, in other words, it was a steak. He got the filet with, like, my wife got the filet, I got the filet. No, actually, I have to take the back. I got the filet. Steak and shrimp is what I got. Steak and shrimp. Yes, steak and shrimp. And I got to tell you something. It was really good. I mean, I just really enjoyed it. And the thing is, you sit there, you eat a little bit slower because I eat with chopsticks. And it took a while. We had a wonderful chef. We had a wonderful server. Really, I super enjoyed it. And the thing of it is that we were trying to get, since this was Casey's first trip, we were trying to get him to be more, I'll say, exposed to the different things, dining wise. And that was one of them. As my wife says, it was a filet. What's there not to like? So yeah, it was really, really super good.
Even like the vegetables.
Yeah. Yeah, he really did. He liked them that they were grilled and so on.
Grilled vegetables are delicious. I tell people all the time that don't like vegetables, I'm like, just try grilling them. They're like, what? I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. Like, no,
grill them with a little bit of butter on the grill, or
little sea salt or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's like I always wanted to get myself just a sheet of food grade stainless steel that was really thick and not bendable, and just put it over a couple of the burners on my either my grill or on my stove, just so I can basically cook just like they cook.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
I have a cast iron griddle, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
not the same. So that was really super good. So I wanted to, I didn't know if I mentioned some of those details. Now, the funny part about it is that that meal to me was basically free. You know how? Disney reward dollars, baby. Disney reward dollars. That that
Is that a 1-to-1 ratio on the Disney Visa card?
For every Disney dollar that you spend, yeah, it's.
Oh, but it's got to be a Disney dollar.
Yeah, I mean, you used it at Disney parks.
Okay, so if you use, and you're talking about the Chase card, right?
Yep.
So if I use it to buy gas at home, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio.
No, because it depending on which card you get, it's either 1 or 2%, back, and then you get a rewards card, redemption card that you use as a debit card.
Okay, but when you're in Disney, if you spend $20, you get 20 points or something along the lines of that. It's Disney dollars.
I used it on my rewards card, the redemption card. So I actually used points that I earned already, and so I had something like 665 points, and I used about half of it on that meal, and it was really, really super cool. And I will tell you this. I mean, yeah. I personally think, I know there are other cards out there that may give you a little bit better reward. I personally love my.
Yeah, but they get you in. That's the big thing. The Disney Chase card gets you into those special meet and greets.
Yeah, they get you into a special meet and greet, special discounts, and so on and so forth. There's a lot that you can actually, if you use it right, it's a good card to have. And we actually have the premium card where, yes, it is an annual fee, but we easily make up for it. We're a cashless home. We don't
get $1 Disney dollar for every 100 you spend on the Visa card. Thank you.
Yes. And
that was the question I was trying to get at.
Oh, okay. But now if you have the premium card, the premier card, I should say, it's actually like $2 for every 100. For like things like gas, grocery, restaurants, and then like 1% back for everything else.
Okay.
So, and that's not really, I'm just telling everybody, that's not a plug. I don't get anything from Chase for mentioning that. I don't get back anything.
We did. Okay. Craig's got the real question. Biggest question. Did Casey like Casey's?
Yes, he did. And you may have missed it, Craig, the last time we talked about it. We actually did the mobile ordering, and we actually went to Casey's several times over the 9 days. It was like every time that we were in the Magic Kingdom, we actually got stuff. And here's the fun part. One time we ordered like three orders of just nuggets, no fries. And we asked them to get them to go. Well, they give you the 3 individual like little baskets, but when you ask them for go, they'll give you a big basket. We just dumped them all in, and then we just kind of like them as we walked around. And it was really, really, really good. And by the way, I know that Nancy was asking what's the annual fee on that card. By the way, that's only a $50 fee. And if you are a cashless home like we are, you easily make it up quickly. I pay my credit card off, all my credit cards off every month. I treat them like cash. I'm very disciplined like that. It's been like that for 20 years. Simple as that. I don't carry balances. But yes, Casey tried Casey's. He really, really liked it. I have a picture of him in front of Casey's somewhere. I have to find it. I'm in the process of actually moving all my pictures from my SD cards to my computer. I probably will have somewhere around the lines of 2,500 pictures by the time I'm done, which is actually a light load for me. By the way, that does not include the pictures that my wife and son took on the other camera. So yes, we have more than one camera. I have my Canon, and then I use my Sony as well for certain parts. So, but yeah, it's really, Casey's was really good. It did not disappoint. I'm just going to say that right now. I mean, quite honestly, we did a lot of eating around the world, especially for Epcot. Between the pretzel and the grapefruit beer, Grand Marnier, over in France. We also had chocolate mousse over in France. My wife also got a sandwich that I didn't partake in over there as well. Kakigori. I had kakigori for the first time. Shaved ice over in Japan. And dude, it was so hot outside. This was so This seriously, it was so good. It's shaved ice with the cool flavoring.
I could
You
go
would,
wrong with that.
it's okay. You think of yourself snow cone, and yeah, sure, it's a big snow cone. For some reason, I was like, oh yeah, and my son and I split it, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so cool and refreshing on a hot day. It was really amazing. Um, but I'll go ahead and say this: I have to say I feel ashamed. I forgot to do one thing.
Oh no.
I didn't get a Dole Whip.
Okay, that's fine. That's the end of the world.
Yeah, I didn't get a Dole Whip, but we did bring Mickey Rice Krispie treats home. Haven't had one of those yet, and did have a bite of a Mickey Premium ice cream bar, so I'm good there. There were also some other favorites that I didn't, that I actually didn't. We did either didn't get a chance, or I can't remember. I have to go through some of my notes on that, but a lot of it was a lot of quick serve type stuff that, snacks and so on. I really think that we overdid it on the sweet stuff. Yeah, chocolate mousse. We really overdid it on the sweet stuff, and I kind of felt it when I got home. I was like, oh, and what flavor of the kakigori? We actually had cherry, and it was. Oh, I think the next time I go back there, if it's hot, I think I will have to introduce that to my wife, because we were going to share it with everybody. Never made it. It didn't happen.
I respect that.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. Some other cool things that we did, I don't know if I mentioned, but we also did what the balloon in Disney Springs, which used to be called Characters in Flight, which is now called like Aeroflight or something like that, which is, basically the company that runs it. And first off, I want to make sure everybody understands, it's not a hot air balloon. It is a helium balloon. And I've done this before, and I will say this was probably one of the most fun trips that we had. Had an absolutely fabulous pilot that took us up, and it was a gorgeous day, and it was a little bit of a breeze, but it was one of those things. I got some awesome pictures from 400 feet up, where you can see as far as the Magic Kingdom. You can see,
wow.
You can see Epcot and Spaceship Earth. Of course, you can see everything below you. It's pretty amazing that what you can see from that high. And, if you are an AP holder or a DVC member, a cast member, things like that, I do believe that you get varying levels of discounts. I've also heard that there may be a Groupon available.
There's been a Groupon for quite a while now.
Yeah, you just can't use it the same day that you buy it.
No, yes. Most Groupons are like that, and I did not know that till it was too late. You need a 24-hour period in between when you buy something on Groupon to use it.
You need a cooling off period for your Groupon. So now the thing is that if anybody really wants to do that particular attraction, I will tell you this: you don't need to buy tickets in advance or anything like that. But I would go as early in the morning as possible, and I'll tell you why. As the day goes on, it can get breezy to downright windy, and also it doesn't fly when it's any bit looking like storms.
Okay.
That's just one of those things. So fly it early, because if you notice, weather at Walt Disney World is the best in the morning. I mean, it can be hotter than the hinges of heck, but the weather is still going to be really good in the morning. And so that's something to take into consideration. So it's worth going down to Disney Springs. And I will tell you that right next to it is the Disney style store. Dude, I can't go in there now. I think the Disney style store, and I was like so tempted to buy half of everything, because everything in there was just so cool.
Is that the one that's connected to the co-op? That one?
No, the co-op's on the other side.
What are you talking about?
The Disney style store is new. It's kind of a corner store along the line of stores that, like, in the section that has like Splitsville, the movie theater, and everything else. After you go over the bridge,
Okay, yeah. Over by a hangar, past all that, like where like the bakery is, like where the food trucks are. That strip.
yeah. You just go down a little bit further, you hit the food trucks.
So is it closer to Splitsville or closer to where? The food
Literally,
trucks?
if you're at the balloon, turn around. You're looking right at it.
I'm having trouble locating this in my brain.
Uh-oh. So
What?
yeah. No, I'm just saying Danny's like, I'm trying to think where this
hurts. Was it
it's
worth it?
the balloon? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hilarious. It's fun. We don't do it every single time. No, I didn't do the coconut milk with the Kakigori, Kylie. But yeah, the balloon ride was absolutely fabulous. I mean, I use it to take a lot of pictures and just to enjoy that. I enjoy all modes of flight. What people don't realize is that it is an actual aircraft. And so it's actually really cool when you think of it that way. And so you go ahead and you take off on this thing 400 feet up in the air for about 10 minutes. And it goes by very quick. It goes by very quick. So, but it is worth it. It's a fun thing, and it's not scary. I mean, if your kids are really scared of heights, you know, yeah, the old Harley store.
That makes way more sense. It's the old Harley store. That's where this store is located. It's the old Harley store. Is this true?
It's
a huge corner store.
Wait. The old Harley store was over down near Raglan Road, though.
I'm talking about the more recent Harley store.
You know what? I don't think I ever really knew where the new Harley store.
It's on that same row where the food trucks is, but
you are probably
we're probably in the same spot. Okay.
Then again, the Harley store never caught my interest.
Across from Starbucks, perfect. Got it. I'm on board. We all know where I got it. Thank you. Oh, that made so much more sense. That was bothering me. I was gonna Google it. I was not in there because last time I was there, it was Harley.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. So here's the deal. The last few days of the trip, I talked a little bit about Toy Story Land, and I'm not going to necessarily rehash that. But, you know, between Friday and Saturday, Friday evening was when we got the call from other people that are listeners and viewers, you know, telling me, hey, they're doing a soft opening. And that's when I met Chris over there, and we had just an absolutely fabulous time riding Slinky Dog and everything. I gotta be honest with you, the wait times for Toy Story Land have normalized very quickly, in my opinion, and it's well worth the wait. There's no longer a real long line to get in.
Sad.
It's less than a 90-minute wait to get to Slinky Dog Dash, which I think it's worth a good hour and 15 minutes. It's fun. It's a whole lot of fun. The Alien Swirling Saucers, it's a minute ride, and I think the wait time has normalized for that as well. And then of course you have Toy Story Midway Mania, which is, in my opinion, a great attraction. It hasn't changed at all, except the queues changed just a little bit. Go for it, you know. But you said that it's sad. Are you saying that it's sad that the wait times have dropped down so much?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It means it's really not as popular as we all were anticipating it was going to be. It wasn't that as good. I mean, Pandora, we saw an extended period of time where the wait times were ridiculous. The land was always packed. Even Frozen, that had extremely long lines opening day and stayed extremely long. Toy Story, why did it die so quickly? That's worrisome to me. Is it going to be one of those parks that just kind of dies out and it's just Toy Story?
You want my take?
Yeah.
My take is that it really is geared towards a younger crowd.
And that's from day one, I said that. And from day one, that's why I was afraid for them to build this park. I mean, it's great. Little kids are going to love it, but you literally missed your mark. People who love this movie, yes, little kids love this movie. Made in the 90s. Look at, it's literally on my shirt. The dude has a tattoo of Buzz. Like, you missed your mark, homie. Like, what are you doing? You had everybody in the 90s that are going to have kids soon. Why not make it for both? It just definitely seems it was more geared towards pre-tween.
You see, the thing is that Hollywood Studios is one of the few parks that I think that doesn't really have anything geared towards the younger crowd. And I think they're actually hitting that on the head. And I think it's, if you think about the balance of it, it's about the same type of attraction in a sense of thrillingness. But before I continue, I think Chris actually hits it on the head. The parks are seen empty compared to last July. And I'll say that I think now, especially from the pictures that I've seen over the past week, after the 4th of July, things dwindled down, quite a bit. But, you have a 60-minute wait easily for, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. In my opinion, Slinky Dog Dash is more thrilling and, just really a super coaster, a super smooth coaster, along the lines of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Except I think it actually adds a level of thrill that is for a slightly even older crowd. Mm-hmm. So I think they're hitting their mark when it comes to the guest base that they're trying to hit. I really do believe that.
And I believe that to be the same. It's just, man, I was really hoping I was going to be wrong.
Wait until you see it. And I think
I'm sure I'll love it.
Yeah.
And by the pictures I've seen, and I trust your opinion, I'm sure I'm going to love it. I just wish you can look at Avatar and be like, okay, this is cool. There's new ride technology here. There is room to grow where in the next 10, 15 years, this could really be something. Yes, they missed their mark in the beginning, but there's no reason why as time goes on, we can't get to that. I feel like Toy Story is what Toy Story is. It's not going to grow. It's going to be what... This is my biggest fear. And hear me out, because I know someone's going to railroad me for this. I'm afraid that Toy Story Land is going to turn into the new Dino Land, where eventually it's just kind of just going to be there. And everybody's going to be like, there's really nothing in there for me, because you're going to walk by and it's going to be screaming kids and diapers just running around. Like, that's just like this image I get of like, how like when you walk to the carnival area at Dino Land, it's just, it looks like you feel like you're at a family carnival in your local town. Like you don't get that Disney-esque like, wow, like it feels like almost like a ghost town, like this forbidden place where we send the bad children to.
You know what? I understand your parallel. I really do. I get your parallel. I think Brian actually made a really good comment. He's like, it's the surface of the sun hot with no shade and nobody is lingering around long. Teens run back into more thrilling rides. The lines are outside the queue, so it's more crowded than expected. I agree with Brian. I mean, the fact of the matter is that I think having the queues outside also hinder it a little bit. Something tells me that when the weather turns to be a little bit cooler in the fall and winter months, I bet you any money that those particular lines may actually get a little bit bigger because people are not necessarily going to care about waiting outside in the sun, like Toontown.
Hits it on the head. That's exactly where I was going with it.
Yeah,
One of those just areas that just are the Disney Jam was called the Nick Jr. The Disney Junior section right over there where Little Mermaid, all that, it serves a great purpose. Do not get me wrong. And knock on wood, one day, hopefully, I have kids and I have my niece and nephew. The next time I bring there, I've got them loving Toy Story. I've got my nephew loving Buzz Lightyear. I want to experience that with them. But the inner child in me is screaming and throwing a temper tantrum in Toys R Us right now because they did not make the park for me. They made it for my offspring.
But the thing is, though, I think that we as adults that grew up loving Toy Story and the different films that came out of it and the characters. I personally think we're the ones that go there because we love it. And I think if nothing else, this is going to reinforce the coolness of that particular franchise. And I totally believe that. I mean, okay.
Can I say something real quick? Real quick. I'm sorry. Okay. So, John, it's not that we're beating up all right, you got to understand this. If you're new to the show, welcome. If anybody's new to the show, welcome. This is when it comes to Toy Story, I'm overly passionate. I mean, go back to some of our older shows, and I literally railroad Disney for Pizza Planet. When it comes to Toy Story, just outside bubble. And we're also the type of podcast where, as much as we love Disney, we can see through the flaws. I'm not going to say, hey, everything's great. I will point out that the rocks over in Tomorrowland have duct tape on them. It's not, they do. They really do. It's not that I hate Disney. It's not that I want to beat them up, but we've come to this certain level of, oh my God, it's Disney. They can do no wrong, where I'm kind of like, oh, let's back this up a little bit. We spent thousands of dollars of hard-earned money. We have the option of being critical. Christine kind of says the same thing as I was going with. When you hear of a new land, you think more than 2 rides. But I think that is what that's where their line is. And you saw that with Pandora. Now you saw it with Toy Story. You're seeing it with Star Wars. They're starting with 2, and I think like Chris nailed it out of the park. And I'll tell you what, Chris, right there, he was the first person to say it. And trust me, I listen to a lot of you Disney podcasters. Love you all. Chris was the first person to say it when we walked in that park, and we were live when we said it, so we have it's documented proof. They're building more in this park. And I was like, they don't have the room. And now, as we're like a year through and we're starting to like get time into this park, you're hearing more of the Disney experts come out and say, oh no, we're going to put more in this park. He called it, people. So if you want to listen to his advice, listen to my advice. Disney should have made it a dark ride for Toy Story.
Well, okay. Now I want to comment on that as well, because I want to make sure that people understand where our hearts are. See, we're passionate about Disney, and Danny and I do have different ways of looking at things. It doesn't mean that either one of us are wrong, and we don't necessarily disagree with each other per se. The fact of the matter is that I do believe that they wanted a particular demographic. I don't think that they wanted to put another big thrill ride for the teen and young adult crowd. I don't think they need that, to be honest with you. Otherwise, you're just going to put another rock and roller coaster in, and you're going to theme it. I mean, if you want to duplicate ride technology and slap a label on it and call it something new, go to Universal. But, the fact of the matter...
That's a dig.
Did I say that out loud? Cute. Well, I guess it blows our chance of never getting any kind of Universal endorsements. But, the thing is, as I said, Disney likes to target their, their guest demographic. Avatar and Pandora. Obviously, there are kids of all ages, as long as they can do the ride requirements. They can really enjoy Pandora, and they can really enjoy Flight of Passage, which I still say is one of the most amazing attractions that has ever been created. Hands down. I still have my eyelids sweat, so to speak, when I got off that ride last time. It's so immersive. It's wonderful. But it is for an older crowd. I mean, unless you've seen Avatar and you enjoyed that movie. In fact, I don't even think you have to enjoy the movie to enjoy the technology that went into this. You will get a full appreciation for that particular land. Now, Toy Story Land, I do believe that people like you and I, Danny, are going to enjoy it. Because we grew up with it. Is from 95. We sincerely enjoyed it. We loved it. We still love it. And I think that those that are part of the younger crowd, those rides are built for them. And you have, the Slinky, you have Slinky Dog Coaster, which has a little bit higher of a requirement than I thought it would be, but it's still relatively reasonable. It fits a certain demographic, and it's a wonderful ride. You have the alien swinging saucers. It is for a younger crowd. So you have everything could span the younger crowd generation that was really missing. If you think about even before what Toy Story Land came about, it was missing something because the only thing you had was, Disney Junior, and you had the Honey, I Blew Up the Playground or something like, type of thing. It was horrible in studios.
I've got a serious question for you.
I think this fits the bill, but it's like any other land. It's not going to fit the bill for everybody. And that's okay. My son went on Rock and Roller Coaster, still hates it, type of thing. He would rather go on Slinky Dog. My son's 14. There you go. And I like, I was just doing a look at that with Nancy's comment. I love that Slinky Dog will be something that I can enjoy with my younger kids together, like Walt's original vision for Disneyland. I think Nancy put that really, really, really well. Christine mentions, how about a ride where you feel like you're flying like Buzz Lightyear? You have to lay on your stomach and could have a screen like Soren. Yeah. Go ahead and eat some tacos before that. So
I've got a serious question.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask one question, and then once you answer, I'm going to back it up with why.
Okay.
Do you feel that Hollywood Studios is going to be geared more towards the younger crowd?
In general? Like, now...
as a park overall.
Can I ask a clarification question as in before or after Galaxy Edge opens?
After.
Okay. And so your question is, do I think that it's going to tend towards
is it more geared towards teens and preteens and families?
I really do think that it will span the generations, families, tweens, teens, young adults, parents. I think there's going to be something for everybody. But right now, there's still some limitations because, yes, Toy Story Land helps fill that in. And yet you still have Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror. You have Star Tours. Those are the only other real attractions until the Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railroad comes into play. Got to see what that's going to be like. Sure. That's going to, I'm not going to say that's going to be a huge factor, but I actually think that Star Wars in itself has, hold on a second. I'm getting an alert. Star Wars in of itself. Darn it. Thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. Star Wars in itself, I think, is starting to traverse to the younger crowd because I think parents are helping that bridge between someone such as myself that saw, episode 4 back in 1977. Granted, I was 5 or 6 when I first saw it. But the fact of the matter is that, I grew up with the original Star Wars toys. I grew up with, the X-Wing fighter that you press the little button and the little wings go ping, things like that, with Star Wars toys and all the real merch that happened in the 80s. But I do think that each land is going to cater to a different age demographic. That's the thing. I think there'll be some traversing between the ages, but overall there will be something for everybody at Hollywood Studios. And I am going to make an assumption that Galaxy's Edge is going to deliver in that experience. Now, I'd love to hear your thought process.
All right. I just have a feeling that you're definitely, you walk into Epcot and you have World Showcase. It seems to be more of early adults, 21 and up, 20 and up, whatever. early 20s, early 30s, 40s, and so on and so forth. Everybody seems to enjoy World Showcase. You get to eat, you get to drink, you have a good time. Magic Kingdom is Magic Kingdom. It's everybody. It hits on every genre. It's nostalgic. I do like what Chris said. Animal Kingdom does kind of hit every age bracket.
I agree with that too. I
am afraid that Hollywood Studios, because I feel like everybody's saying, "Oh, it's gonna be every age bracket like Animal Kingdom," but is it really? Because you could make that argument because Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster are thrill rides. Okay. And I understand you can't say, "Hey, Danny," like I can't say take those out because you can't. They're two iconic rides on Disney property. But talking around them, you've got Toy Story that's geared towards young children and families. You've got the Disney Junior section geared towards young children and families. Galaxy's Edge, I'm telling you, is going to be more geared towards like younger teens, tweens. Gut feeling. I don't think it's going to be an intense at all. I do not think I think it's going to be detail oriented. I think it's going to be stunning if you're a Star Wars fan. And listen, you all know I don't like Star Wars. I've never seen them. I hope to watch all of them. We will hopefully, knock on wood, be there for opening day. And I'm sure even as a non-Star Wars fan, it's going to be immersive. I think the rides will be tame. If my honest opinion, but the rides will be tame.
I don't think the rides are going to be thrill rides. We already well, okay, so Nancy mentioned that Millennium Falcon ride though. Okay, the thing is though, it's a simulator, if I'm not mistaken. It's a simulator type of ride from what I have seen. I could be wrong. Someone please feel free to correct me. I'd be more than happy to yield.
It looks like Body Wars.
It kind of does, but the thing is that it is going to be immersive. It's going to be immersive, but it's
Flight of Passage.
Like Flight of Passage, but it's going to be more simulator-ish than, say, thrill ride. Some people may say, okay, Flight of Passage may be thrilling, but to me, it does not.
It's not Everest.
It's not Everest. It does not fit the definition of a thrill ride. It is a thrilling simulator.
Oh, absolutely.
And
immersive ride.
Very immersive. And I have a feeling that the Millennium Falcon ride, whatever they're going to name it, is going to probably fall into that same category. That will be that's my take. Just like, okay, Magic Kingdom is going to get a thrill ride through Tron. The Guardians of the Galaxy coaster over in Future World at Epcot, that's going to be a thrill ride. Yeah. The thing is that I think Hollywood Studios has its share of thrill rides, and I think you're right that the rides themselves will be more family oriented, but I think the immersiveness of Galaxy's Edge will cause the experience at Galaxy's Edge to be much more than the summer rides.
I'm not talking opening day or opening year. I'm talking long term. Once everybody, it gets its washout, people all over the world start and they get through it, blah, 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 and we're 10 years, not, I wanted to say less than 10, but with the 50th anniversary around the corner from that, I don't see it dying down. Let's talk 7 years down the line. When you walk into that park, and obviously it's going to be a completely different park, you're going to have the new Mickey and Minnie ride opening up, which once again, I can't confirm nor deny it's not going to be, but I can say it's not going to be a thrill ride. It's going to be faster than what the movie ride was, but I don't see it being anything to hold your hats and take your sunglasses off. I'm assuming by then maybe Indiana Jones Spectacular is gone, or maybe they convert that area into a Indiana Spectacular theme area. I don't know. I'm just saying, eventually, do you walk in and go, wow, there's a lot of kids here? I've never in my life walked into Epcot and been like, wow, there's a lot of kids here. And they wanted Epcot to be that way. You see what I'm saying? They designed. You think about it. Think about what they wanted to teach you about different countries and different cultures. They wanted you to learn how technology worked and up and coming. They wanted that to be a family experience where your kids still learned. And it hit its mark for a while. It did. It hit its mark for a while. But now when you walk in Epcot, it's like they threw their hands up like, all right, let the frat kids run it. And nothing's wrong with that. It's hitting its demographic. I love going to Epcot. I've traveled the world before. I've been outside my country numerous times. I love going there. The food's phenomenal.
And I think right now, in my opinion, as long as they keep the edutainment factor solid through World Showcase, I'm okay with that. But I have to agree. I mean, I want them to bring back interventions. That's a comment and a topic for a totally different show. But that's just my 2 cents on it. You know what, Danny? I'll be honest with you. I'm glad that we're talking about this now because I'd like to see what happens, even a year after Galaxy's Edge comes into play. Because I think that first year is going to set the tone. But here's also the other part to it. Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land are going to most likely, just from what I can tell, bump up to each other in a sense of entries and exits.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, in fact, I think some people showed that they actually had to do a exit out through that area a little bit. I think they're going to bump into each other, which means it's going to kind of blend in a little bit. You're not going to have to go in and out of one particular direction. But let me finish.
Bottleneck nightmare.
Let me finish my statement with that though.
Wow.
That means that, yeah, thanks. So I mean that means that the crowd itself I think will actually get bigger once Galaxy's Edge is there. Also think about it this way: how many people are actually didn't come out for Toy Story Land because they want to come out to do both Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land?
A lot. You do know. That might be the truest thing you've ever said, because I know a lot of people who are like, hey, want to book a trip? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll book your trip. No problem. When do you want to go? When does Star Wars open?
Yeah, which is still like...
Don't know yet. Don't know yet.
Question next to how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
And Mr. you get to 3. Well, is Toy Story open? Yeah, Toy Story's open. Well... I talked to my family and we've decided we're just going to hold off and wait because we don't want to do 2 trips that close to each other. A lot of people. Oh, trust me. I'm going to go bananas when Star Wars opens when it comes to business. I saw it at the minute they released Toy Story. I booked like 4 people that day. Then it died out. And I was like, Star Wars, I expect numerous bookings because people are just going to go crazy for it.
And at the same time, I mean, I'm going to say that my 2019 trips are going to be different than what we've done before. I'm not going into summer next year. That's what it looks right now. And it's not necessarily because of Galaxy's Edge, but in a way, I'm kind of glad. But it may be, it may be a little different. But the thing is, I would love to go to experience Galaxy's Edge. I do think now, when it comes to that whole opening day feeling, basically Galaxy's Edge would be like, hold my beer and watch this. I mean,
gosh,
it's gonna be crazy. And between that and the anniversaries coming up and different things like that, Chris actually made a comment. Chris, one of our faithful listeners, thanks, Chris Brew. He kind of made the comment, in regards to the crowds and this, that, and the other. The fact of the matter is that we're not seeing it now, but we're going to see a lot of different things happen with Toy Story Land. I honestly don't think that, what we see is, exactly what is going on there. Because even now, Pandora in of itself is kind of open. It's not as crowded as it was, even though there's a long line for Flight of Passage. There's still a long line for River Journey, which in my opinion is on the same line of Alien Swinging Saucers. Doesn't last all that long, and it's geared towards a younger crowd.
Okay, 2 things. First off, one, when Galaxy's Edge open, it might be the first time you hear about people actually fighting in line. I think it's that big of a fandom, and I think the line's going to be that bad. And I think that's why because didn't they say a while back it's fall of 2019?
Late fall 2019.
And I think the reason they're doing that is, and this could be stupid, and this could, I just thought of this, so please, maybe I shouldn't say it, but whatever. Do you think they pushed it back to fall because they don't want the heat of the summer driving people mad? Because people are already going to be crazy. Literally, people are going to, I would not be shocked if you see a fight. There's going to be no line cutting, no saving spaces. They are going to be all over you like white on rice.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I think you have a very good point. Now, is it really purposeful? Probably not. But the thing is that I think actually it would be smart for them to do that, because to have late fall is generally a lighter crowd now anyway. That's going to just fill out the crowds. It's going to make next summer to be lighter anyway, if you want to go next summer. I do think that they're going to need that much time just to get the land ready. I mean, we all heard stories about how Toy Story Land was, they were working around the clock to get it done.
I'm shocked they're not going to open on May 4th, though.
Huh?
They're missing their mark if they don't listen to you and open the park on May 4th. They're missing their mark. Oh, the next thing I want to say.
What?
Nancy had brought up that people might be waiting to do all of it in 2021 for when the anniversary happens. Probably. But I think because it opens in 2019, people will still go race to it because they know they can wait 2 more years to hit the next one, and when the 50th anniversary happens. I ask you this one thing, Disney. One thing, and I got into an argument with a couple people the other night. Please, God, do not make the freaking castle a cake again. That was so bad. Whatever you do not make it a pink freaking cake. Oh, God.
I don't think that they're going to make that mistake twice.
People loved it, though. I had people yelling at me, be like, "Oh, no, it's wonderful." And I was like, "Oh, God, it was terrible." And then it started to crack after a while. You walk by, you're like, "Ooh, is it melting?"
It looked so Barbie dollish.
I mean, heck, it was 95, right?
Yeah. All right, so let me do this. That's enough for Toy Story Land. All I'd have to say is that the following day, during the grand opening day, we had fast passes. We got in. We did alien swinging saucers. It was a lot of fun. I will say that I think that Toy Story Land looks better at night than during the day, because I just think it's lit up beautifully. So we did Epcot on Sunday, and that's when we ate around the world. But actually and we were going to go to do like single rider line for Test Track. And as soon as we walked up, the time on the time lights and everything else went dark, which basically means, nope, we're not letting anybody else in because we're shutting down, because it was storm time. So that was pretty bad. Go ahead.
People are requesting something because I know we're running out of time here. Airline story.
I know. They're going.
Okay, you saw that. Okay.
Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Go.
We did some. As for new things, we actually. Casey loved Soarin'. Casey also really liked Spaceship Earth, or not Spaceship Earth. Well, he liked Spaceship Earth too. That was cool. Mission Space, both green and orange. They changed green. So the story is different.
Oh, that's cool though. I like that. I like when they do something simple like that sometimes. It
was really cool. It was very well welcomed. Basically, you're traveling around the Earth, and you're kind of seeing the Earth at different types of different daylights and this, that, and the other. And it's kind of narrated a little bit by Capcom. And
cool.
You still have a little bit of something thrilling at the end. You're trying to land in a storm and so on and so forth. It was a lot of fun. My son still doesn't like it, mainly for the same reason as you. He doesn't like the claustrophobic ride harness. Okay.
I respect it.
So on Monday was our last day, and we spent it. Oh, I forgot to tell you. We did twice. Monsters Incorporated Laugh Floor.
Yeah.
Both those times, I was that guy.
Both times.
Both times. And I hammed it up so good. I was just like, and don't be that guy. I'm like, here's the funny part.
Did you get your sticker?
Huh? Oh yeah,
Sticker.
I've got two of them. now. The cool part was during the first one, it was a later show, and there was like a row of kids, like a couple rows behind us, that they were kind of like, calling them out during the show and this, that, and the other. But I was still that guy. So at the end of the show, I come walking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, out of the, how many years that they've been doing this, I've never been that guy. And all of a sudden, that whole group of like teen young adults that were being called out for different things, they all waited for me. And they're like, there he is, there's that guy. So somewhere out there's a whole bunch of people with selfies with me. I passed, I had a whole bunch of Behind Ears podcast stickers. I passed these out to them.
Oh, cool.
It was hilarious. It was absolutely fabulous. That was really cool. But the last day we spent at Magic Kingdom, and I gotta be honest, it was a great way to end the trip. We did things like Spaceship Earth. No, we did things like Speedway. Mm-hmm. We did Mine Train one more time. We went through The Little Mermaid. We ate a little bit. We went to PhilharMagic. We did a whole lot in that last day. We Casey and Virginia wanted to see the show at the castle, so they watched that. They actually watched that while we got Casey's corn dog nuggets, and some people may have seen some of the pictures I took in front of the castle of Virginia. We actually got some last bits of food over at Cosmic Rays, and just really had a nice time. And so we went back over to our resort, and that morning we checked our luggage in. And the interesting part to it is that for some reason my name wasn't in the system. So it took a little bit longer, but I got checked in. I got my boarding passes. No big deal. I said goodbye to 5 pieces of luggage. Went to Magic Kingdom, had a great time. Got to the resort about 25 minutes before Disney's Magical Express came. And kind of enjoyed the last snack from the food court over at Art of Animation, which I will say I loved Art of Animation. We were in a car suite, and I got to tell you something. That was one of the nicest themed suites ever for a value resort. I thoroughly enjoyed that resort. I'm going to tell you that now. I will stay there again if I had a choice. It was just really well done. So here's the airline story. Our flight left at like 9 something, really late. It was a really late flight. And we had one bag with us that carried all of our, fragile gifts, fragile gifts and stuff like that. And my backpack and this, that, and the other. We get to O'Hare Airport just after 11 p.m. I, go downstairs by the carousel, and one of my bags comes. Oh, great. Picked up the bag, waiting for the other 4. Waited about 10, 15 minutes. Nothing else came. Southwest Airlines lost 4 out of my 5 pieces of luggage.
Did you fly Spirit?
No, I flew Southwest, and I'm not a Now, the funny part about Spirit. Now, here's the funny part. I travel a lot, and the interesting thing is I would expect maybe 1 piece out of the 4 to actually be misplaced. 4 out of 5 was kind of like, whoa. So I went to the baggage claim, and I was really nice about it. I go, just out of curiosity, do you happen to have my bags? Did they come in on an earlier flight? Because I checked in really early at Disney. And first they tried to say, well, it was Disney's fault. And I'm like, I got one of my bags.
Yeah.
They're like, oh. So I was there probably a good half an hour. and they're looking around for it, and so on and so forth.
Miserable.
And so they filled out a report, and they said, we will call you tomorrow with how it was handled. And so I'm like, okay. Now, granted, I'm very calm on the outside. I am just torn up on the inside. I walked back to my family, and I basically looked at my wife. I said, "This is not a time to talk to me."
Was there anything valuable in these bags?
All of our clothes.
Just clothes. But I'm just saying.
Mainly clothes, mainly. But the thing is, here's the deal. It was also Virginia and Casey's clothes. They had to go back to Iowa. But it was kind of funny. I looked at my family. I said, I will say something once we leave with this building. And so afterwards, I'm like, how the heck do you lose 4 out of 5 pieces of luggage? That is, like, to me, unfreaking heard of. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of went on a funny rant. I said funny because I wasn't using profanities or anything else like that. I'm like, how? Really? Seriously? I was joking around how my luggage probably took a longer vacation than I did. And probably what happened was that we did check in very early. Our flight was not until very late. It is a common practice for airlines to take luggage that is going to go to a certain destination, put it on an earlier flight, so it actually meets you at that destination. It's a common practice. And what they probably did is they put it on a flight that was not a nonstop flight into Chicago. And there was a lot of weather through the Midwest that day, and it did delay a lot of Southwest flights. I'm thinking something got caught up. Not a big deal. I got a call at 6:45 in the morning. Now, mind you, I got home at 1:00. I'm really tired. They located my luggage, and they delivered it to my house before noon. I was pretty happy. I was happy with how they, I was happy with how they handled it. I didn't get much of an apology. The extent of the apology was a little card on the outside of my bag that basically said, we're so sorry that your luggage.
I got that.
It's just one of those things. I'm thinking to myself, this really was not that part. As you probably saw when you popped up there, Kathy's like, on our next time we fly with them, she's like, I'm just carrying my luggage on. It really freaked her out.
But if you can't fit, if you have a big piece of luggage, you're not going to be able to
obviously check. You have to check it.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, we've both flown a lot.
Yeah.
You got lucky in the sense of, it sucks that they lost 4 out of 5. They never lost 4 out of 5 for me because I've never traveled with that much stuff. But remember, Spirit lost my luggage going to Disney.
Yeah.
One flight out of Atlantic City. One flight. I was the only flight. I was there on time. Somehow I made it to Disney. My luggage or not.
Did they pay you for clothes and stuff like that? For the day, at least?
Nope.
Nice.
Nope. It's Spirit, man. What do you mean? Like, I'm lucky they didn't even give me peanuts. They don't do me. I'm just lucky we have all the wheels and all the nuts and bolts proper for that plane.
I mean, so that's my airline dilemma. I mean, again, I'm still flying Southwest on my next trip with them. I didn't tweet anything to them about this because I was really wondering if they were going to send me some other kind of communication in regards to this. I'm not looking for anything from Southwest. I'm just letting everybody know I am not looking for a free ticket or anything else.
I am. I'll take his free ticket.
He'll take my free ticket. I mean, if they wanted to give me a drink coupon or, do my early bird check-in for free next time, hey, that'd be great. I will say that I wish I would have gotten at least of either something other than a tag on my bag that says, we're sorry. I just think a little bit more personal when you lose someone's bag. They did they did find my bags. They did get them to me. So it's just one of those things. But yeah. Oh, what did she mention? No peanuts on Southwest flights? Yes, there were peanuts on that but not free. Oh yeah. I got a bag. I got a bag of peanuts and a bag of it was vegetable flavored wheat thins or something like that. It's one of those things. I will still fly Southwest Airlines again. I don't have a problem. I'm just go ahead and just mentioning, this. It was just funny. It was kind of funny. I'm laughing at it now. But the best thing to do if something happens, here's the thing: stay calm.
Starting August 1st, no peanuts.
Huh? Well, that's fine because usually they give you the peanuts before they give you the drink. So if you eat the peanuts before you get your drink, you're like,
free stuff. That's just crazy. Well, so are they just going to do like a trail mix then? Or are they just not giving you free anything anymore?
They actually going out there really early in the morning. They actually gave us some Belvitas.
Oh, those are good.
Good. That was good. It was Belvitas and something else for, kind of a morning snack. As I said, they give us wheat thins. They also had at one time, somebody showed that they had little airplane crackers, kind of like animal crackers, but airplanes.
Oh, that's cute.
Pretzels as well. Yeah, that's what it was. It was pretzels too.
Because I know last year I flew American out to Indy, and I think I'll be flying American again. They seem to be reliable. They gave me a free soda, which was nice because I like my Canada Dry. And they gave me a thing of trail mix. And she said normally they don't give away 2 bags of trail mix, but they gave me a second bag.
You were just so nice.
It's probably because they saw how large I was and was like, he needs 2 bags.
My biggest thing is this. You know what? Anything goes wrong, just relax. They're going to take care of you. And, I did not raise my voice or raise a ruckus or anything else like that. And I got my bags when they said I was going to get them. I'm just really glad that it didn't turn out worse. Casey had all of his luggage before he had to go home. So it was all good. But you know what? That comes to a conclusion of my trip report. And before we all go, I want to say that I think Thursday is going to be an even cooler show because Brian is going to be with us and he's going to talk a little bit about his VIP tour experience at Toy Story Land. And I am really looking forward to hearing. I actually was fortunate enough to meet up with Brian during the grand opening of Toy Story Land. We had a chance to chat for a little bit, and I will tell you that it was really cool to meet him, and I can't wait to talk to him on Thursday. Do you have any last questions, comments, snide remarks, or brownie recipes?
I feel like Disney might have missed their mark with Toy Story. A little upset. But listen, it's definitely not as bad as Pizza Planet. So with that being said, play that lovely tune.
All right, here we go. You heard the show, and we hope you want more. Well, feel free to join us over at our social media platforms. Instagram and our Facebook page can be found at Behind the Ears Podcast. Our webpage is behindtheearspodcast.net, and our email is behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter handle is @BehindTheEarsPC. And come and join the conversation about all things Disney over at the WDW community page. Don't forget to rate and review the show over at iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us get the word out about the show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the Podbean app. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and via Alexa and Google Home.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another live recording of Behind the Ears Podcast. Whoever came out to watch us tonight and share the show, we appreciate everything you guys do. And for everybody who downloads the show, keep on downloading, keep on listening. Just remember to keep your hands at 10 and 2. I am Uncle Danny. This was Behind the Ears Podcast. That was Mr. Chris. Follow us on all those social media platforms, especially the WDW community Facebook page. Head on out there and ask to join. What's the worst we say? No, we wouldn't. Or would we? We have to find out. With that being said, Tuck your kids in tight, wear your seatbelts, drink that cranberry juice. I'm Uncle Danny. Audi until Thursday.
And I'm Mr. Chris. Thanks a lot for joining us, everybody. And don't forget, you could also find us on Spotify. So go ahead and subscribe to us over there if that is one of your, I'll say, entertainment choices. It's really, really cool. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. We love you, and we're really glad to have you here tonight. And until we meet again, we hope you have an absolutely magical day. Take care.